video. All right, welcome to the 2020 Indoor Drumline Parent Preview on this Saturday evening. My name is Jordan Kane, and I'm the Instrumental Music Director at Canyon High School. And what you see behind you is the percussion class that is here. This is James Catwell. He's our head percussion instructor. And this is our new guy, Chris Proud. He's in charge of all things visual and marching. We also have... We do also have coaches that could not be here this evening. Jeff Ramos, Morgan Andre, and Ali Vasquez. They wish they could be here, but they could not, so we're going to get going instead. I will introduce James and let him take it away. Thank you.
I guess I'll just yell too. So, thank you guys for coming out. It's awesome to see all of you guys here. I think this is our third year of doing it, and I feel like this is probably the biggest turnout we've had so far, which is super awesome. So thank you guys for coming out to come check us out on a Saturday evening. Hopefully we'll give you guys a bunch of awesome goodies that you can dig into. First off, what we're going to do is we're going to play a couple exercises for you guys so that you can see what we work on a rehearsal basis and things that we use as training tools for all of the kids. We spend a lot of time rehearsing, especially for those of you that do have kids that are in the ensembles. You definitely understand how much time we spend rehearsing. We spend a lot of time because we have a lot of details to go over. The main goal of what we do and what we strive for is complete uniformity. Is every single person standing next to each other looks exactly the same as the person on either side of them. No one looks any different, whether it's the way we hold the mallets, whether it's the way we hit the instrument, whether it's how loud we hit the instrument. All of those things we go over with meticulous detail to make sure that it's all exactly the same and everyone looks the same. So that's what kind of shows off the impressiveness of it, is being able to get everyone to look exactly the same and make the same exact sounds. So to start off with, we're going to show you guys the front ensemble. So everyone that you see standing in front of you. This comprises mostly of all mallet instruments. It's sort of the main part of the front ensemble. So here on my right side are the marimbas. Marimbas, you guys can raise your hands. Say hello. These are our marimbas. On my left side, right here, these are our vibraphones. Cool. Hello. Right behind them is our xylophones. Guys can raise their hands. Say hi. So, and then one last one over here by himself. This is our glockenspiel, or also the bells. That is our bell player. So those are all of our main four mallet instruments. It's the marimbas, the vibraphones, the xylophones, and then the glockenspiels, which hopefully you guys can all take that home, because most people just group it into xylophones, and they are not all xylophones. Xylophone is one specific instrument, and then there's three other different ones. So hopefully we can all take that home and spread that knowledge to all of our family and friends. Besides that, in here in the middle we have our drum set player. Yeah! On the right side we have our synth players behind these big black boxes. They've got little keyboards back there that they're playing on, little pianos. And then between that is our guitar player. On the far side over here, we have our auxiliary percussion players. They handle all things that are not mallets. So you can see they have concert bass drum. They have this big thing next to it that's called a tam-tam. They have chimes. They have all kinds of other goodies that they play throughout the show and they play during the exercises. So it gives us just the extra colors besides just the mallet instruments. So let's start off. The exercise we're going to play through, they call it cheese platter. 3 different exercises put together. They have green cheese, and then bad burn. Those are our 3 exercises. Cool. Ready? Give me 1 second.
How's it going? Good, how are you?
Sound check. Go for it. Good. So that was pretty much most of the exercises that we work on with all of the front ensemble. That's basically what they use for the whole beginning portion of rehearsals. They'll show up in the beginning of rehearsal. We'll go through some exercises. We use that to warm up their muscles, and we also use it to warm up their ears and get them used to playing together again after they've been off doing other things throughout the day. Because we come together and we sort of build our sound together, and we learn how to be unified again before we move on to music and working on other things. So next up is going to be the battery. See that behind us, all of them wearing the drums. So we have 4 different sections. We have right here on my left side is the snare drums. To the right of that are the tenor drums. And the back left would be our bass drummers. And on the right side of the back are our tom drummers. So they have an added extra responsibility that the front ensemble stands and they mainly focus on just the music portion. The battery does the music portion as well as having a visual component that's added as well, as we do a lot of storytelling through the visual component as well as the music component. So we'll see the visual component at the end of this. For now, we're still just going to play some music for you guys. So these are going to be 2 exercises that the battery works on, similar as the front ensemble that we use to unify our sound, and we talk about technique and working on different techniques that we play during the show. So the first one we're going to play is called 8th note flams, and then the next one will be triple double. This will be 8 more in. Give them a plan. We're going to play our show music for you. We have about 3.5 minutes of our show put together. By the end, it's probably going to be about 5 minutes, so this is a little bit over, like 2/3 of the show. So in general, with the shows that we put together and we design, they are handwritten by the staff. So the staff as a whole, we all work together and we handwrite the music for the students. A big benefit of that is that we get to really choose and play into our strengths, and we get to show and demonstrate the strengths of the ensemble and really write the music on an individual nature to make sure that each kid and each student is playing the best things that they can, and we're demonstrating the best skill sets that they have. So the shows in general have a very abstract nature, so there's not really going to be a very a storyline for us to really follow or to go along with. It's mainly about evoking emotions just through the musical nature itself and not necessarily just trying to tell the story. So there is ideas behind it and things that we'll talk about that you can kind of get a key and like a director's commentary behind the scenes of kind of what's going on. But overall, it's very much an abstract nature type of show. So right now we're just going to play the music only, and there's going to be some spots where you'll see the battery is just standing there, and that's when we're going to see a lot of the visual stuff once we do it on the move and we see all the visual aspects. But for now, we'll just start with the music. The show doesn't have a title yet. Working on a title. Going to try and have that super soon. Titles can be a difficult thing just because we have to find a way to sum up everything that we're trying to say in like 2 or 3 words, and we're just trying to find the right 2 or 3 words to make sure that it encompasses it in the right way, and that we're not setting it off in a weird way because it's not exactly the right 3 words that it needs to. But basically, the show started, and the inspiration was just about legacy, and it was about thinking of what kind of things we're going to leave behind once our time is up in any sort of facet or situation of our life. Is once we have left this area of our life, what kind of legacy are we going to leave behind in that area, and what kind of things are we going to leave behind, and what things are going to be remembered for in these sorts of areas of our life, and these different things that we do, and these different things that we involve ourselves in. And so we'll kind of see that in the show a little bit. It's just about this fabric that is sort of representing us being lost in the sea of everybody, and you'll notice that when they're under the fabric, that you can't really see them individually. They just kind of make this whole group of fabric. And then we'll kind of see them poking out from the fabric and trying to stand out and make their mark and be seen and be heard outside of the fabric. So we kind of see that. It's going to be a little bit more abstract than that, but hopefully we'll kind of understand that. It'll make a little bit more sense once we see it. But first things, we're going to play the music for you. Cool. And without further ado, we're proud to present Canyon High School.
Lost in time, who will remember me?
So while they're in transition, some of the things, if you're new to this and this is something you haven't seen before, what we do with this is our first competition is actually a week from today, because we're going to go out and we go and perform in different high school, college, and professional arenas all around the Southern California area. So when we go in, if you've been a part of us during the fall program, is we push on and there's a bunch of groups that'll perform throughout the day and we all get a very specific time slot. And so a big part of our activity, what we have to do is we learn how to set all of this stuff up and get everything ready to go in a very short time frame. For what we compete in, we get 9 minutes total to go into the gym, get everything set up, and then leave the gym. And the way they time it is with having a line that divides the gym in half. Is we'll get set up and they have a timing line that goes halfway through the gym and they'll let us know when we can cross the line and then they start our time right at that moment. And then from then on, we have 9 minutes to get everything ready to go. Make sure that all of our front ensemble equipment's ready to go. We have a bunch of electronic stuff that we get set up as well. And then same thing with the props and all of our drums and our instruments and this mat that we also have set up. Is we have 9 minutes to get all of that stuff ready and then perform our show. And our show is about 5 minutes and that eats into the 9 minutes. So we have about 4 minutes total to set up and then also to leave. So that's a big part of what we do during rehearsals as well, is learning how to set all of this stuff up in a very tight time frame. And we also get a lot of awesome help from parents that come to shows and help us push all this stuff in. That makes it happen and gets us in time. Because without that, there's no way we'd be able to push all of this stuff in and get everything ready to go in time. Because it takes a big team effort to make sure that we can get everything ready and we can perform and then we can get out without getting penalties. Because as soon as we go overtime, then they start giving us penalties for every second that we've gone overtime. So with that, I think we're all ready to go. Let's all get set. So we can also watch and we'll see a little bit of the visual storytelling element to this as well. That everyone's going to start underneath the fabric and we'll kind of see it evolve from there as we come out from the fabric and we put our drums on and go through our different elements of the show. Here we go, presenting Canyon High School.
Lost in time. Who will remember me? Have I done enough to be remembered?
demonstrates why we have all these long rehearsal hours, is all the different things we have to detail throughout the show and all of the different elements that go behind it and all of the little things that we have to catch every single rehearsal and all the different things we work on. As we spend a lot of these times making sure that all of these things can be executed correctly and they happen the way that they're supposed to and nothing gets messed up and people don't get trapped in fabric and all kinds of things don't happen. So it takes a lot of work and a lot of time to get them to the level that they're at right now. And so far they've been doing a really, really good job. So we're really excited for our show next week. So at this time what we would like to do is if you are a parent or a sibling of a student, we'd like you to come down and hop onto your student's instrument. And they're going to show you a couple of things on the instrument and you guys can have fun and see what they
I'm gonna put this away.